Many rich and famous people are bullshitters. The reasons? You have to ask why bullshit. Why do they bullshit? There are a number of reasons. First reason, to not be an outcast. Once you become rich and famous, you might think you are free, but rather you will have to talk or collaborate with the peers of your same wealth and fame. And these people might obey people who have more wealth and fame than them. So, if you deviate away from their acceptable behavior, you might be seen as an outcast. The fear of rejection and isolation is a huge issue for many people, but for some, they have no issue because they care about what is true rather than accepting fake standards. If you don't, then you are a truth seeker. I totally respect you. Nowadays, if you look at social media, you see many influencers and prominent figures sucking up to the ultra rich and famous people like this.
But friendly competition versus I personally hate lawsuits.
Yeah, look, I think this whole thing is like unbecoming of a builder, and I respect Elon as one of the great builders of our time. And I know he knows what it's like to have haters attack him, and it makes me extra sad he's doing it to us.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest builders of all time, potentially the greatest builder of all time.
It makes me sad. And I think it makes a lot of people sad. There's a lot of people who've really looked up to him for a long time, and I said, in some interview or something that I missed the old Elon, and the number of messages I got being like, that exactly encapsulates how I feel.
I think he should just win. He should just make Grok beat GPT, and then GPT beats Grok, and it's just a competition. And it's beautiful for everybody. Well, this tension, this dance, what do you hope this? If we go 1, 2, 3 years from now, your relationship with him on a personal level too, like friendship, friendly competition, just all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I really respect Elon. And I hope that years in the future we have an amicable relationship.
Yeah, I hope you guys have an amicable relationship this month. And just compete and win and explore these ideas together. I do suppose there's competition for talent or whatever, but it should be friendly competition. Just build cool shit. And Elon is pretty good at building cool shit, but so are you.
That's what your boy's trying to do, at least.
Yeah, Elon?
Yeah.
Yeah, my boy.
Did you believe him when he made that offer?
What offer?
If something bad happens to him.
Oh, on Twitter. Dude, you did your research. Yeah, well, first he has to buy it. And then, yeah, I'm very confident if he bought it and died, he'd give it to me. Totally. And not the investors that have tens of millions of dollars.
Because they're afraid. Because those who are below and above them will turn against these influencers or prominent figures. But the problem here is some people genuinely think they are smart. Otherwise, how would they achieve that status? They don't even question them. Like this.
Right now, Tesla's at roughly $200. We believe that in 5 years, 2027, it will be a $2,000 stock if our research is correct. If we're not right on autonomous, it would be at least a $400 stock just because of the massive shift towards electric vehicles during the next 5 years.
But when someone questions them, they're put down like this.
I think, frankly, if you want to have a really high velocity of features, I think we'll just need to do a total rewrite of the whole thing.
Wait, seriously, a total rewrite. That's your prediction for velocity.
Yeah.
Well, when you say a total rewrite, do you mean starting with the skeleton, or a bunch of engineers sit down with a whiteboard and say, "What is Twitter"? Revolution or reform?
I just mean literally there's you could either try to amend the crazy stack that exists or rewrite it.
But when you say crazy stack, what do you mean? Break it down.
Have you seen George's diagram?
No, I mean what do you mean by crazy? No, seriously. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Who are you?
What do you mean, who am I? I don't know. You gave me the mic. I got no clue.
I didn't give you the mic.
I'm doing the mic, and let's keep it.
They are constrained by the known, limited in their beliefs. They are prejudiced towards those who are above and below them. If such prejudices are entertained, what are the chances that we can flourish as humans? They never challenge their beliefs. They have knowledge, but no understanding. The truth is that they have succeeded out of happenstance, not by delusionary work. The second reason is to feel special. Once they achieve success, in the eyes of the public, they feel a sense of superiority because they are getting constantly validated. So they start to abuse language. You can see change happening like this. There's a change in hand gestures. There's a change in facial expressions. These are all what matters in sales and marketing. How you say and appear to public matters more than the depth of what you say. Once you become successful, you become a brand. Then you talk as if you know all subjects like this.
Do you think that we get effective drugs from pharmaceutical companies?
Not particularly.
Okay. Do you think that any vaccines work?
Yes.
Do you think that any...
I don't think 80 of them work at once for babies. I think that's a little risky.
But yet we've been on this vaccine schedule for how many decades?
Like
and babies
this.
don't...
Like this. Not like this. Not carefully.
I had a ton of vaccines when I was a child. I'm pretty sure that was the norm for people. There were a ton of vaccines. You had to
There's
take
way more now.
Okay.
Get around your shortcoming with your outward appearance and your tone and how you say it rather than the depth of what you say. It's okay, and most people believe in you just because of your brand and social status. The next reason is to conceal information. Bullshittery is used to conceal information. People talk nothing at length to conceal information. This is done to avoid backlash from people who are working in the same domain or competing industry or company. Using bullshittery to tackle backbiting, unwanted competition or forgery and piracy or even outright stealing your ideas. That is why many people at the executive level in the company speak nothing at length without giving out too many important details of what the company is doing, like this.
What about advertisers? Because this will change the business model. In some cases, you're going to get links from a traditional search. In some cases, you're going to get a generative AI answer, which would move those links lower down on the page. Are they ready for this moment? What are you telling them about their ability to reach your users?
You know, the great thing is users still value commercial information. Our ads work based on intent and quality and relevant at the right time. We've been able to test that in the context of AI overviews, and it's working well as we expected it to. So I think it'll be a smooth transition, and that's what we are seeing.
I think I heard Liz Reed say that it's leading to more searches, but the generative AI or AI overview, as you're calling it, is it leading to more or less clicks?
In general, we find it's both overall increasing usage, and when we look at it year on year, we've been able to grow traffic to the ecosystem. So we are, compared to most other players, we are prioritizing approaches which will generate traffic as well. So we are working hard on that.
Does it change the business model? How are you thinking about that?
I think about a year ago, people had questions on whether this would cost too much to serve. We brought down costs 80%. I don't think that would be a concern. I think the way we've been at work and the way we are rolling it out, I feel like we are set up in a pretty good way and we can build on from here.
The next reason is to build a mass market. Bullshittery is in itself a market. If you could speak in a way that appeals to the masses, then you could get more money by bullshittery. Bullshittery is your rhetorical ability, which is persuasive ability to make a sale or convince others why your service is great. Like this.
Today, it's financially insane to buy anything other than a Tesla. It'll be like owning a horse in 3 years. So buying a Model 3 is a good deal. All cars being produced have all the hardware necessary, compute and otherwise, for full self-driving. I'll say that again. All Tesla cars being produced right now have everything necessary for full self-driving.
The next reason is to establish power. You could use bullshittery to devise a narrative to reinforce structural inequality. You could sell humanity like this.
I love humanity, and I think that we should fight for a good future for humanity, and I think we should be optimistic about the future and fight to make that optimistic future happen.
Or Hindutva like this.
और पहले जब उनकी सरकार थी उन्होंने कहा था कि देश की संपत्ति पर पहला अधिकार मुसलमानों का है। इसका मतलब ये संपत्ति इकट्ठी करके किसको बांटेंगे? जिनके ज्यादा बच्चे हैं उनको बांटेंगे। घुसपैठियों को बांटेंगे। क्या आपकी मेहनत की कमाई का पैसा घुसपैठियों को दिया जाएगा? आपको मंजूर है ये कांग्रेस का मैनिफेस्टो कह रहा है।
The opposition is calling these remarks hate speech. It has long accused Mr. Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party for using communal and divisive politics for electoral gains. India's main opposition party, the Indian National Congress, says no Prime Minister has lowered the dignity of the post as much as Modi. And prominent Congress leader Rahul Gandhi took to X and claimed the Prime Minister was fearful of a loss in the polls and is trying to divert people's attention from real election issues.
And you could make stories about crabs like this.
What's so cool about the lobster is that when a lobster wins, he flexes and gets bigger, so he looks bigger. Because he's a winner, it's like he's advertising that. And the neurochemical system that makes him flex is serotonergic. And you think, well, who cares? What the hell does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It's the same chemical that's affected by antidepressants in human beings. And so, like, if you're depressed, you're a defeated lobster. Like, you're like this. I'm small. I'm not, things are dangerous. I don't want to fight. You give somebody an antidepressant, it's like up they stretch, and then they're ready to, like, take on the world again.
And convince others this is scientifically factual. That also applies to humans. And what makes statements like this?
To expand the scope and scale of consciousness so that we're better able to understand the nature of the universe and understand the meaning of life.
And ultimately, the most important part will be to ask the right question.
Yes.
Thereby elevating the role of the interviewer.
Yes, exactly.
As the most important human in the room.
Absolutely. Good questions are, it's hard to come up with good questions.
When we don't know the definition of the mystical word called consciousness, according to the needs and wants of the consumer. All is done to establish power and get ahead of the competition. So that's enough bullshittery for today. Until next time, subscribe if you like this, comment down below. Thank you.